Hello, welcome to the Main Street Sports Show. I'm your host, Mike Kilroy. The show is sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet, and our guest today is Evie Bliss.
Hello.
A union grad and a sophomore at Bucknell University who is making quite a name for herself in the world of track and field and the javelin throw. If you've read some of our stories on Explore, you know her quite well. She's been doing this for several years at a high level. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate your time because I know you're jet setting all over the place here this summer. But first thing we want to talk about is you just got done with the NCAA Nationals, 12th place finish. I know it was kind of bittersweet because you made All-American, which was a big goal of yours, but you wanted to crack that top 8. Your thoughts? You did throw over 180 feet, which I know is a big kind of milestone, over 55 meters. So can't be too upset, but again, you want to be in the top 8.
Yeah, like you said, it was very bittersweet. Going out, I know NCAAs will always be my toughest competition. There's a lot of international athletes that compete for other collegiate colleges, and they bring it. They're amazing throwers, and I can't complain too much. I mean, I did finish second team All-American, and I threw over 180 feet for the third time. So any other year that would have put me in the top 8, but this year was just a little extra challenging, and a little disappointed, but I'm not discouraged. I'm going to go back. I have 2 more years.
Yeah, it was just a stacked field out there. We were talking before the show about the woman who won. You were talking about how in warm-ups she wasn't doing very well. She was kind of middling through the competition. You were actually ahead of her. She gets and just corks this just crazy throw.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible to watch. She didn't have the best warm-ups. I mean, you can sort of tell what type of competition somebody will have depending on how they warm up. She was looking a little bit rough in warm-ups, but she took her one throw to get into the finals flight, and then again she did it and threw 62 meters, which just about breaks or if not takes the NCAA record.
Yeah.
It was incredible to watch.
Yeah, you've been competing against top flight competition here for the last few years since going to Bucknell. Went to East Regional, NCAA East Regional, won that. That must have meant a lot to you to go there and win that, and to have the kind of throw you had there. Talk about that a little bit. That was a big moment for you.
East Regionals is interesting. We got a lot of bad weather that week while we were down there, so they had actually moved up everything about 2 hours earlier. So it wasn't quite as hot when I got to throw, but I mean, I was the very last thrower out of all 48 of us. I took my first throw, and I knew it was good, but I wasn't sure how far it went. You can never tell from behind the line. So when I saw 57.09 pop up, I was pretty excited. I didn't quite expect that to win it down there. I mean, I was competing against the girls from Georgia who have all thrown above 60 meters before, so walking away from that, being the first seed from the East Regional, was very comforting. It helped my confidence, sort of showed me that I can compete with these girls who have thrown 60 meters, and I can bring it at Nationals too. Yeah,
so that competition was in Jacksonville, Florida,
yes,
correct?
Yes.
Well, Jacksonville, Florida, it's going to be kind of swampy and hot, and so you had to deal with the elements there. But you're used to dealing with the elements. Throwing up here in Pennsylvania in all kinds of weather, and then even at Bucknell, throwing in all kinds of elements. But then you go out to Eugene, Oregon, the Hayward Field, where it's kind of your home. Now we were talking again before the show about how you're going to actually have more competitions there than at your home stadium at Bucknell event here after next month.
Yeah, right now I'm tied. I've thrown 5 times in Eugene, and I've thrown 5 times at Bucknell. But when I go back out for the Toyota National Championships, that'll be my 6th time. So I'll have thrown there more than I've thrown at home.
Yeah. And going back to East Regional, you won your first thrower from Bucknell to win a regional. What did that mean to you to kind of be the first and to kind of break through that ceiling?
It meant a lot. I mean, I hope that I leave a legacy at Bucknell for future generations to follow. But being the first to win a regional title was really special. I got to do it with my coach there. Unfortunately, he couldn't come out with me to Eugene. He and his wife are expecting a baby any day now. So.
They're still expecting.
Yes, they're still expecting.
Wow.
So.
That's Ryan Protzman.
Ryan Protzman.
If you know Ryan Protzman,
Coach.
he's shout out to him. He was a coach at Montauk.
Yes.
He's from this area. He's a D9 guy. Mm-hmm. He went out to Bucknell to coach out there, and we can say to talk about him and the impact he's had on you. He's had a big impact on you as a
coach. Means so much to me. I mean, he's the reason I'm at Bucknell. I don't think I would have really considered it had I not had that sort of hometown connection that I had with him. But you know, he and I made quite the team. It was really special to break the school record with him in Jacksonville. I struggled a little bit not having him out in Eugene, but you know, there's always challenges. You always got to adapt and overcome. But you know, he's a great coach. He knows what he's talking about. He's always willing to adapt or tweak things or create new drills. I mean, we have several drills that we do in practice that we've just started naming because, you know, why not?
Yeah. What are some of those names? What are some of the drills that you do that you've kind of named, almost like pitchers naming their pitches, right?
Yeah. We have this one drill. It's a 5-step, but you take the first 2 steps walking and then the next 3 are running. And my teammate Bradley Treska and we've named it the Brevy because we really like it, and so that's what we call that drill now. And coach will often write it in our workouts as, like, you know, 5 times Brevy, which wouldn't really know had we not been all practicing together.
Yeah. What any other interesting names?
We're still working on a few, but nothing quite.
Okay,
that
gotcha.
Good.
So it sounds like he's really innovative, and you're innovative in how you prepare and how you kind of hone your skills. Is that kind of been the big thing for you here, being able to kind of keep ascending in the sport, is to come up with new things, new techniques to make yourself better, to kind of wring those extra meters out?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, javelin's such a technical sport that we're always trying new things, trying different things. If I have a practice where I just am not feeling good with one thing, we'll switch it up and try it a different way. But yeah, you know, you always keep on learning. You're never finally finished when it comes to javelin. There's always something to adapt or to tweak or to break down completely. So.
Mm-hmm. You won the conference championship again 2 years in a row, both years. Did you meet your goals at the end of the season, at the end of the conference, East Region, and NCAA Nationals? Is that kind of where you had hoped? I'm sure your goals changed and ebb and flow during a season, but at the end of the season, when you look back, were you pretty, all right, I was able to kind of do what I was hoping for the most part, and good building block for next year?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, Coach and I talk a lot about short-term and long-term goals for the year. One of my short-term goals was to take back my Patriot League title and defend it. So I accomplished that one. Throughout the year, you know, we always talk about like my ceiling and my basement of my throws. So looking at like my series of throws from this year compared to last year, I'm a couple meters ahead, which was also another goal of mine. For long-term goals, I wanted to hit over 55 meters, pretty close to 60. So I was able to get that at Jacksonville at first rounds. So, you know, I'm never satisfied, even when I hit my goals. You know, there's always something I could do better, or a throw I wish I could have thrown harder, or something. But for the most part, I think where I'm at right now, headed into postseason competition, I am pretty happy.
Yeah, I know 60 is a big number, right? That's where you eventually want to hit, and it'd be nice to hit it here coming up, right? Because
Yes.
you have 2 very big events coming up. Talk about that. You have a trip to Germany coming up, and then you're flying back to Oregon from Germany. Do not stop, go. Do not collect $200 right from north of Frankfurt, right from Dusseldorf to Eugene.
Yeah, so I was selected based off of how I performed at my past 2 summers international competition for a university world team. So there are I'm part of Uni USA's team that they're sending to Dusseldorf, Germany, to compete in the University World Games. So it's track and field, I believe it's beach volleyball, water polo, tennis. It's a bunch of sports. It's almost like a miniature like Olympics.
Yeah, I was going to say, almost like a little mini college.
It's like a collegiate Olympics. Yes.
Olympiad. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm very excited for that opportunity. I'll compete there on July 25th, and then if I do well and make the final flight, it'll be the next day, the 26th. But then I'll fly on the 27th back to Portland, to Eugene, for the Toyota U.S. National Championship. So.
And when are those?
That I
many days?
believe I'm throwing on July 31st.
Okay.
So it's about like 4 or 5 days later.
So basically less than a 2-week span. You're
Yes.
Germany, Oregon, you're throwing. Wow. Exciting, but also probably, okay, I have to try to manage this mentally and physically, right?
Yes.
'Cause that's a tough thing.
A little nervous about it, but yeah, it's a great opportunity for both of these meets that I don't think I can quite pass up. So
yeah,
I'm Duolingoing on my phone to learn a little German before I go.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, and I know you're also fundraising for that trip to Germany because you can't do both. The university can't pay for both of those trips.
Yes,
so talk about that, and more people can maybe go help you out.
Yeah, I've started a GoFundMe. It's called Backing Bliss. Journey to the World University Games, I think. Yeah. But you can find it on my Facebook page, and I think also on my Instagram page.
And if you miss all of that, I'm gonna have a story on her here, on Evie here, coming up here tonight or tomorrow. Will be posted, so you can go. There'll be a link on that story too.
Anything helps, really. I mean. I get to go represent my country again, so I feel like it's a great honor.
Yeah. So when did you find out about that? And because was it one of those? Oh, I didn't even know this existed. Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of last minute. My coach had found out about it and mentioned it to me, I believe, at our conference meet, but we didn't have much information. It was kind of just like, oh, this is something you could potentially do, but not really in detail. It wasn't until after East Regionals that they reached out and were like, hey, like we have this spot for you on this team, but we really need to know by the end of the week, like, can you do it? So it was a hard conversation to decide because, like I said, I really want to hit 60 meters this year. I want to give myself any and all opportunities that I can. But I also do want to perform well at the U.S. National Championship. I think right now, currently in the U.S., I'm 9th sitting. I'm the youngest collegiate thrower in the top 15, I believe.
Wow.
So I do really want to do well there. But it's always an honor to represent the United States.
Yeah.
So
and that's something you've done in the past. We're going to take our first break. We'll talk about that a little bit, some of the international events that you've been in, and then we'll talk about little Evie and how she became a javelin thrower. It's a really interesting story if you hadn't heard. So this is the Main Street Sports Show, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet and Mike Kilroy. Evie Bliss. We'll be back.
Cooper Discoverer Road Plus Trail AT, our most trusted truck tire, is now better than ever and available for your truck or SUV. They're designed for the reliability and durability to find adventure beyond the pavement and are backed by a Cooper mileage warranty of up to 65,000 miles. Learn more about the reliable Discoverer Road Plus Trail AT at CooperTire.com. Count on Cooper. Or stop by Carly Tires in Clarion. Carly Tires, the area's largest selection of tires.
Can afford a gorgeous custom-designed hardwood Kales kitchen for a lot less than you'd pay at a DIY store. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. At Kales, there are never middleman markups or hidden charges that can add 40%. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. That's FactoryDirectKitchens.net.
At Clarion County Community Bank, you're more than just a number. With personalized service and modern conveniences, they make banking easy. Clarion County Community Bank, where community comes first.
Your eyes are the window to your soul, so take care of them. The Laurel Eye Clinic provides complete care from annual exams, glasses and contacts to cataract and retinal surgery, LASIK, and more. As a trusted leader in family eye care for 50 years, you can trust them with yours. Call or visit us online today.
Need reliable plumbing or heating services? Call Luton's Plumbing and Heating. Fast, friendly, and available 24/7. Call them at 814-226-8695.
Hi, my name is Jason, and welcome to Sweet Basil. Come on in.
This game is brought to you by Tionesta Builders? No, Tionesta Builder Supply. Family-owned and operated home improvement centers located in Tionesta and Shippenville.
Dubrook is your trusted ready-mix concrete supplier. From commercial to residential, Dubrook has you covered. Call 1-844-DUBROOK or visit dubrooking.com. Dubrook is proud to support our local communities. Dubrook, your solid choice in all things concrete.
Modern Living Solutions in Knox is always on the lookout for driven, positive individuals to join their team. They offer career growth opportunities and industry-leading pay. No experience is necessary as training is provided. Apply today and build a future with Modern Living Solutions.
Affordable opportunities are endless at Northern Pennsylvania Regional College. If you're looking to start next semester or next year, apply now at discovernprc.org. discovernprc.org.
Hello, welcome back to the Main Street Sports Show, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet. I'm Mike Kilroy, easier for me to say. This is Evelyn, Evie, don't call me Evie Bliss,
Yes.
from Bucknell, sophomore, union grad. We were talking about your jet-setting ways here
Yes.
for the next month, but you're kind of used to that. Last summer, you threw in the Olympic trials, you threw in some junior world events. Talk about that a little bit, what that experience meant for you and what throwing on an international stage has done to help you when you go back to Bucknell and go back to the grind of a season.
Yes, it's always, as much as I compete, I'd say I gain the most and learn the most out of the big competitions that I have. Last year I competed at the Olympic trials where I finished 6th, which was, I think I exceeded my goals for that meet. I was very excited after that meet. But I learned a lot there. I learned how I can recover when I have to throw back to back very, very quickly within like a 2-day span. And just sort of the competitive atmosphere, there's always something different about it. Then I also threw with the U20 USA National Championship, which I defended my title, and I earned a spot on the under 20 USA Worlds team. So they flew us down to Lima, Peru, where we competed in the World Games, and that was quite the experience. It was so interesting. I met so many people, but international competition, there's always something different, whether it's how they have you warm up or check your jabs. So you got to learn a little bit.
Yeah, you learn a lot about how competitions are run in different places, right? Plus you get to wear USA, right?
Yes.
USA gear. That's got to be a thrill, right? You're representing your country. You're throwing for your country. It's kind of a dream come true for anybody who wants to compete in track and field or even other sports, to be able to represent their country, right?
Yes, yeah. I still remember the first time I tried on my Team USA uniform after the 2023 Under 20 National Games. It was a moment I don't think I'll ever forget. I was stunned that I had won, but also that I qualified for this in 2023. It was the Pan American Games team. And I just sort of stood there in the dressing room in my Team USA uniform and cried because, you know, I'd achieved more than I ever thought I would. And it was a very special moment that I hold close.
Yeah, and you know, I know that's one of your goals, right? You want to wear USA again on the big stage. How much do you think about that, though? Because you do have other competitions, other fish to fry, so to speak. But ultimately, in the back of your mind, it is a goal, right? To make an Olympic team.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think every competition that I have, it's in the back of my mind. That's my main goal. I mean, in 2028, that's the year I'm going for it all. You know, I take each international and big meet that I have as sort of a stepping stone for the Olympic trials and hopefully the Olympics in 2028, whether that's trying to boost my world ranking or just sort of learning more about myself and who I am as a competitor. But it's definitely always there.
Yeah, and is that kind of mind-boggling to think about that? Because how old are you now? 20, 21?
I'm 20. I just turned 20 on
Happy
Monday.
birthday. Happy birthday.
You.
2 days ago.
Yes.
Wow. It's got to be weird to think about that because it wasn't even 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago that you didn't even, you were in the District 9 Javelin competition and you finished second.
Yeah.
And then you go to state and finish second, and then everything kind of took off from there. I mean, we've talked about this before. How mind-boggling is that to think about how far you've come in such a really short period of time?
Yeah, I mean, there's still some days that I wake up and, you know, I question whether I deserve it all or whether I'm doing the right thing. But it's been quite the journey. I mean, like you said, 2-3 years ago, I never would have imagined that I'd be where I am now. But you know, I can't take it for granted. God's given me these abilities, and I've got to make use of them. And I always compete for Him and for His glory. So I hope that I compete in a way that shows that.
Yeah. So you're junior year in high school. You go out to the Shippensburg, the state meet.
Yes.
You pick up the javelin. Your first throw. It lands 67 feet? 67 feet away, which anyone who knows about javelin, that's not very good. No, not very good at all.
Very good at all. I think that's my lowest recorded distance to date.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it that way.
Yeah, keep it that way, yeah. Because you're hoping to hit 67 meters, right?
Yes.
Because that would put you, that
would put me very nicely
yeah,
in,
that would put you very
the world
nicely,
rankings.
Yeah. But what clicked for you? I know I've asked you this in the past, but what turned a runner-up in the district into this powerhouse, broke a state record your senior year, won a gold medal easily your senior year, went on to compete internationally, and now went in, Patriot League championships, going to Germany, doing all this stuff? Because, I'm sure people want to know, how did that happen? Because it's pretty fascinating.
For me, it feels like it almost happened overnight, but success is never linear. Junior year, I started out throwing my sophomore year. My dad got me into it. He told me that since I pitched in Little League, that I should try out javelin because it can't be that different. And he looked back a few years later and Dad, it's completely different.
Yeah, a little different.
But
right?
He got me my first little turbo jav, and we started just throwing it around the yard. I mean, I won't claim that it was a click right off the bat. I mean, I sucked my sophomore year. But my parents and my coach always say that I'm a competitor and I don't like to be bad at something, so I will work and work and work at it till I'm not. And I owe a huge thanks to my parents. If it wasn't for them reminding me every night, hey, do your javelin drills, do your javelin stretches, I might not be where I am. But going into my junior year, I was determined to be a lot better. I wanted to be better. And then it just, a lot of YouTube videos and tears and practices later, I finally started getting the hang of it, It takes 1,000 times for something to become a habit. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. So it sounds like it wasn't like one thing, it just clicked. There was a bunch of little things that all came together at the same time to kind of push you to that next. All those drills, all those videos, all this technique work, probably physical, getting stronger, getting... working on your arm strength, working on your run-ups and everything like that, and it all just came together.
I mean, I owe a huge thanks to all the swimming I did. It kept my shoulders very mobile, and I think it really helped with my early throws.
Yeah, I think, you know, we're going to talk about your past. A lot of that kind of led up to this. You were a pitcher.
Yes, I was. Yeah.
In Little League, and you tried it out in high school, as I recall.
Yes, I tried it out for high school for a year, and then I played boys 16U travel ball for a while.
So obviously you had a strong arm. What was that experience like? Because again, that's something that kind of unusual. You know, playing baseball that late.
Yeah.
You know, girls do play baseball growing up, but usually they switch to softball or switch to something else long before 16.
Yeah.
But you were able to do it and keep going with it.
Yeah. You know, when I was in minor league, we didn't have a softball team yet. Rammersburg didn't have a softball team. Now, when I got to Little League, we did, but I felt that, you know, it was just a little too different for me. To me, I consider them two separate sports.
Yeah.
They're not just like a boys and a girls version.
Sure.
But you know, I stuck with baseball because, you know, it was what I knew and it's what I was good at. And then up through high school, I played fall ball and Katanning a lot. So I sort of grown up with a bunch of those guys, and they were like, hey, like, we're all trying out for this U16 team, like, I think you should, you know, at the time, I believe I played shortstop, but I'd moved to second base when we got to the bigger field, so, you know, I tried out for the team and I made it, and I got to continue playing with those guys that I always had come, you know, like September, October, November, so. Yeah. I have a lot of fond memories, and I miss it a little bit, but
yeah. I was going to ask you if it was sad when you eventually hung up the cleats, hung up the glove, right?
Yeah, it was bittersweet, you know, like I had a great swim career at the time, and I was doing track and field too, so at the time, that was all 3 of those seasons were overlapping.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of hard to do it, but.
Yeah, and you were an excellent swimmer. People kind of forget that now that you've done so well in the javelin, but you really thought swimming was going to be where you were going to do all these great things in that sport.
Yeah, I did.
You won a bunch of stuff in swimming, and you started really young.
I did, yeah. I started when I was 6, so it was something I thought I'd do collegiately, but I mean, my junior and senior year, I have 4 District 9 titles, and I made it to the state meet both years. Yep. I also hold several records at some of the pools nearby for high school meets. In YMCA swim, I made it to nationals my junior and senior year, so I got to compete in Greensboro, North Carolina. Yeah.
So in that sport you excelled too, and you did it as an independent swimmer. You know, Union didn't have a swim team, so you had to kind of be a nomad. I know Brookville helped you out quite a bit.
Brookville sort of welcomed me with open arms.
It was kind of your quasi home.
Yes, they were very welcoming, and I still have a lot of good friends.
Yeah, and your brother Hudson's doing this kind of the same thing.
Yes, Hudson's doing the same thing, and I think next year Harry will follow, and this will be their year that they get together, like Hudson and I had my senior year, so I'm excited to watch them both.
Yeah, that's great, because there is a little bit of a parallel there.
Yes.
The 2 brothers would be able to swim together. That's pretty neat. But you really kind of showed it was possible to be an independent swimmer and succeed. There's been others who've kind of followed in that path recently around in other schools. That's got to give you a great source of pride,
it's good to
right?
see. Yeah, I really enjoy seeing it. I can't remember if it was my junior and senior year, but there was 4 independent swimmers. I think it was my senior year because Hudson was with me. So it was Hudson and I, and then 2 others from Bradford or DuBois area. But at the one meet, the officials let us independents form a relay and swim together. So I look back and I have great memories, and you know, we always said that independents have more fun because you could choose what you want to do, and you know, but it's nice to see.
There's a couple Montauk girls too who were independent swimmers. Yeah, and they were very good too. So you're able to kind of be involved with that. Yeah. And you mentioned swimming. The stamina, the upper body, the shoulders, being a swimmer, that had to have helped when you transitioned more to the javelin.
Oh, absolutely. I credit most of my early success, if not now still, to that. Swimming gave me such mobile shoulders that, and like just strong shoulders, because you know when you swim, it's you're pulling 80% of your body weight through the water. So yeah, I credit swimming to most of my mobility and shoulder strength.
Do you miss it? Do you
Terribly.
I bet, right? Because
Terribly,
you did
yes.
it since you were 6. That's a long time to be swimming and
Yes.
swimming in events and swimming at a high level.
Yeah.
Do you kind of look at people on the swim team and
I
the
envy
pool,
them.
kind of peek into the pool every now and then?
I do. I try to swim. I'm not very good at it, but I try to get in the pool at least, like a few times a month.
The skills
Probably
are
should
kind
be
of
more if my coach hears me say that, but he wants me swimming every few days. But I do miss it. I mean, yeah, I miss the competitions the most.
So the skills have kind of eroded a little bit.
There's a saying, once a swimmer, always a swimmer, but I don't think I could swim the times that I swam my senior year anymore without immense training.
Yeah, well, swimming is a great all over body workout, right? That's probably why your coach wants you to do that. Plus, it's not low impact.
Low impact, it's easy on your legs. I've had some issues with my knees here and there, so yeah. I promise, Coach, I will swim more.
She promised.
Promise, I swear.
Hold her to it. Hold her to it. So obviously, 3 sports athlete. There's a lot of specialization now. I know that's something that would not have helped you if you would have just specialized in one thing and not tried the javelin. Who knows what would have happened if you didn't do that. So is that kind of a message too? Is hey, experiment, try things.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you didn't try the javelin, who knows what would happen?
Yeah, I tell my brothers all the time. If you ever want to try a new event, a new sport, completely go for it. I fully support the multi-sport athlete. Sometimes you'll get specialized too early at an age. You always, have that what if, or could I have been good at that? But yeah, I mean, my advice to anybody is to try as many things as possible and don't let where you live or where you're from stop you from trying new things. I wouldn't have been able to swim had we not gone to tanning. So I don't ever want to see somebody held back by something by a place they live at.
All right, we're gonna take another break. When we come back, we'll talk more with Evie Bliss, kind of about her future goals and just in general, just about her javelin life. So this is the Main Street Sports Show, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet. We'll be right back.
Cooper Discoverer Road Plus Trail AT, our most trusted truck tire, is now better than ever and available for your truck or SUV. They're designed for the reliability and durability to find adventure beyond the pavement and are backed by a Cooper mileage warranty of up to 65,000 miles. Learn more about the reliable Discoverer Road Plus Trail AT at exploreClarion.com. Count on Cooper. Or stop by Carly Tires in Clarion. Carly Tires, the area's largest selection of tires.
You can afford a gorgeous, custom-designed hardwood Kales kitchen for a lot less than you'd pay at a DIY store. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. At Kales, there are never middleman markups or hidden charges that can add 40%. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. That's FactoryDirectKitchens.net.
Clarion County Community Bank, you're more than just a number. With personalized service and modern conveniences, they make banking easy. Clarion County Community Bank, where community comes first.
Eyes are the window to your soul, so take care of them. The Laurel Eye Clinic provides complete care from annual exams, glasses and contacts to cataract and retinal surgery, LASIK, and more. As a trusted leader in family eye care for 50 years, you can trust them with yours. Call or visit us online today.
Need reliable plumbing or heating services? Call Luton's Plumbing and Heating. Fast, friendly, and available 24/7. Call them at 814-226-8695.
Hi, my name is Jason, and welcome to Sweet Basil. Come on in.
This game is brought to you by Tionesta Builders? No. Tionesta Builder Supply. Family owned and operated home improvement centers located in Tionesta and Shippenville.
Dubrook is your trusted ready-mix concrete supplier. From commercial to residential, Dubrook has you covered. Call 1-844-DUBROOK or visit dubrooking.com. Dubrook is proud to support our local communities. Dubrook, your solid choice in all things concrete.
Modern Living Solutions in Knox is always on the lookout for driven, positive individuals to join their team. They offer career growth opportunities and industry-leading pay. No experience is necessary as training is provided. Apply today and build a future with Modern Living Solutions.
Affordable opportunities are endless at Northern Pennsylvania Regional College. If you're looking to start next semester or next year, apply now at discovernprc.org. discovernprc.org.
Hello, welcome back to the Main Street Sports Show, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet. I'm your host, Mike Kilroy. Evie Bliss, Bucknell sophomore, Reimersburg native, javelin thrower extraordinaire. But we were talking during the break about going out on Main Street and trying to throw a javelin at cars, but we're not going to do that, obviously. We don't have a javelin, plus it'd be a safety issue. But you were talking about how in practice sometimes you would work on targeting.
Yeah.
That's pretty fascinating.
In high school and now still, Coach Boston will take a cone out and be like, all right, who can be the closest to the cone? It really helps with release point angle and just sort of making sure you're throwing down the center of the sector. But in high school, there were a couple guys that practiced tossing football around, and they tossed us sort of out into the middle of the sector where I was throwing, and they weren't doing any harm by it. But I decided I was going to put two javelins about a foot from either side of the football, and they were freaking out, and I thought it was really funny. But I think my accuracy has diminished a little bit since then.
Yeah, I always thought it would be interesting if part of the javelin competition was distance and accuracy.
Yeah.
Like you have to hit, if you hit a certain spot, you get an extra certain meters, but that would be too confusing.
Javelin's hard enough as it is. I don't think we need to make it any more complicated.
There you go. Javelin is pretty hard. Talk about that. I mean, you do so many drills, you do so much work. It's like a full-time job, right? How do you balance that? How do you continue to work day in and day out on your throws? You've already seen your busy schedule. I mean, you're going to be deep into summer, still throwing, not a lot of break. It's a lot. How do you kind of keep yourself centered, keep yourself from going crazy?
It is a lot. Recently, I started journaling right after practice. Sort of what I thought I did well in the day, what I thought I could improve upon. But in the school year, I throw twice a week, so I'll do two throw days, 2 like drill and plyo days, and then we get a day off. Now that we're sort of in post-comp season, I'm throwing, and then I'm lifting, and then I have a day off, and then I throw, I lift, I have a day off. So it's all about balance. With javelin, you can't throw every day. You'll hurt your arm. There's a lot of strain that it puts on your arm and your shoulder, even just your back and your body. It's a lot. So I really had to find my balance coming in freshman year of like what's too much for me, what isn't enough, where do I feel the best. And I was definitely overthrowing in high school. So Coach Botson helped me sort of find that. And he really limited me sometimes. They're like, no, you're done. You're going to take 80 throws today, but you're done.
Yeah, it's hard, right? Because people probably think, well, to get better at the throws, you have to throw, but there's so much more that goes into it. You mentioned plyometrics, weightlifting, sprinting. Yeah, because you have to sprint down the runway. It's really a science, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it's a lot. I didn't quite realize how much it is till I got to college. I think I've done a lot better training overall as an athlete. I didn't really have much weight room background prior to my freshman year. So that's one thing I've seen an improvement with. And others, after last year, I came to coach and I was like, hey, I think I want to do a lot more sprinting. So in the fall, I did a lot more sprinting, and it was also good rehab for my knees after I had PRP therapy in my one knee. So
Yeah, it was the knee and the knee issues from the wear and tear of throwing and all that. Because it's a pounding. People think, oh, it's just your arm, but it's running up and down the runway and planning, and you're putting a lot of stress on your legs.
The plant of my block foot that gave me the worst. I had bad patellar tendonitis that was bad enough that I got PRP and was locked out for like 3 weeks. So it was a little rough, but I think it was worth it because I'm feeling better now, and my knee hasn't given me as much issue.
Yeah, you stay pretty healthy, right?
Yes, yeah.
Especially your arm, because you see these javelin throwers who are like pitchers in baseball. They have Tommy John surgery.
Oh yeah, all the time. Unfortunately, our freshman recently hurt his UCL and couldn't finish out his freshman year. So he's having surgery, but it wasn't quite Tommy John's, but it was bad enough. It's always a concern. It's very scary. Anytime my arm even slightly aches, I'm like, oh, I freak out a little bit.
Yeah, but that's part of taking care of your body, knowing the signs, and technique, right? Because if you have good technique, you're not going to put excess pressure.
You technically shouldn't be putting any pressure on your elbow or shoulder, really. Yeah. So it was.
Is that a big focus with you and Coach Protzman, is technique and? So that's got to help.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be some practices where my mechanics for some reason are not with me, and we'll take the practice and just take it from low throws, drilling things over and over and over again until I get it. There's some days that I don't even do full approaches.
Yeah. You mentioned your knee because you are planting like.
Yeah, you're coming from a full sprint to a dead stop.
Yeah, and the elements can play havoc with that too if you have a wet runway and all that. How do you mitigate that? How do you try to keep everything in line so you don't have a bad experience?
I visit our trainers regularly. I'm either icing my knee or I'm getting treatment done scraping. I find that a lot of scraping on my patellar tendon helps, but if I'm in comp and it's really rainy, everybody is on edge. It's so easy for you to see blown out knee at the end of a throw. So it's double checking your spikes and everything is my big thing, because I have a tendency to forget about them, and then I'll be missing a spike and I'll go to plant and there goes my foot. So it's always a nerve-wracking thing, but I mean, being in Pennsylvania, our beginning of our season's always rain. Yeah. So I feel at this point that I'm pretty well adapted to
cold and windy.
The rain and cold and the wind.
You mentioned scraping your patella. What does that entail?
So it's just basically like this metal scrape that they just take and scrape down. It's to promote more blood cells and
blood flow
to your knee.
To keep it
healthy.
Sound. They keep it sound, because injuries are a part of sports, and you see, I don't know if this is true or not, it just seems like, just from me covering throws and it seems like javelin has the highest rate of injuries of any of the throws.
I don't know the statistics on it. I would venture a guess, just personally, after you take a few weeks off, you come back, you're feeling it after your first practice. So I mean, I've watched a girl in high school plant and completely blow out her knee or ACL or meniscus. It's scary, but at the same time, there's ways to prevent it, and there's ways to practice so you don't hurt yourself.
Knock on wood. So far,
literally,
you've been good. Just knock on the wood floor. Here, we'll tap it. We'll tap the wood floor. And it sounds like you have a really good throwing room, a really good tight knit teammates there at Bucknell. You have there's another javelin thrower there who's really promising too.
Yes, Briley's done great. I mean, she sort of set the tone as I came in as a freshman. She'd already been to East Regionals, and I wanted to follow her there. So, but there's the four of us, and I think we're a tight-knit group. I mean, We're very close. We practice all the time together, and even the entire throws group at Bucknell. Those guys, they're my family. I mean, I wouldn't be who I am without them. So
We spend a lot of time together.
Yes,
so
we do.
you must have to be a family.
Don't get me wrong. We do have our fights.
Oh, I'm
but
sure.
It's all love.
Yeah, I'm sure you have your fights. So, so once these two competitions are over, do you have time off? What's kind of goes on after that?
I'm
after
sure
July?
after I throw at the Toyota Nationals, I'm sure Coach will tell me, hey, take a month off. But that's hard to do. I mean, I feel dooless if I'm not training. So, but I'm sure I'll have some time off afterwards before I go back in the fall.
So are you the type of person who can't have any downtime? You always have to be doing something.
Yes.
You always have to be working towards something.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. So.
I spent the past few weeks out at school, and all I was doing was training, and I had nothing else to do. So I was bored out of my mind. I think I read about 15 books in the 3-week span I was
Wow. What was your favorite out of all those books?
I read a good series, Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. It was pretty good.
So you read a whole series. That's how much time you had in here.
That's how much time I had.
Sounds like you're a pretty avid reader.
I am.
To get through all those books. What is your major at Bucknell?
I'm a biology major.
That's right, biology. And what do you hope to do with that
I
eventually?
hope to eventually get my doctorate in chiropractic. So,
Oh, chiropractor, great. Has it always been interested in that? Has that always been a field you wanted to enter?
Yeah, it started more in high school. I got really great advice from a family friend. He told me, look at the lifestyle of the job you're considering and see if that lifestyle matches what you would like. And then if you like the job and like the lifestyle, then maybe look a little bit more into it. And as a chiropractor, I can set my own hours, but I can also travel with different sports teams. I would like to focus in like preventative sports injury chiropractic. So there's a chiropractic college down in Florida that offers that program.
Oh, nice. So you have it all kind of mapped out, right?
I have it planned out for the most part.
Well, obviously you're hoping that all goes on hold after 2028,
yes,
right? Yeah, because you hope that you're going to have to be a little bit busy.
Exactly, yes.
That year. Well, that's pretty fascinating. So you could probably work for an athletic team, a franchise.
Like to. Yeah, that would be my dream. Whether it's traveling with teams, USA teams, and being their chiropractor, or whether I get involved with a major sports team.
Yeah, so keep you involved in sports.
Yes.
Even like you can be a chiropractor for javelin throwers.
Yes, absolutely.
You'll know how it all works.
Exactly how they feel.
Yeah, you know exactly how they feel when they're done throwing and where the problem areas are, because it is rough on your back too.
It is, yeah.
Throwing a javelin. Where does it affect you the most?
For me, it's all my lower back.
Lower back.
If I don't hit my throw very clean, and in the end, if I dump my shoulders forward, I'll feel it light up my lower back. So that's been a big thing this year. I've been working with Coach on is sort of strengthening my lower back, but also like practicing good positions for final throws. I've gotten to the point where I don't have to wear my back brace any longer, which I see as a good thing.
Yeah, it probably helps too. You don't want to wear too much stuff, right? It
Exactly.
slows you down.
I gotta be more aerodynamic.
Yeah, aerodynamic down the runway. Yeah, you've worked on that too. You've kind of tweaked that a little bit, right?
Yeah, I've backed up my runway a good 15 feet, and I'm now bringing a lot more speed than I was even last year. So I'm seeing bigger results with that.
It's a fine line too, right? You don't want to tinker too much, because then it's going to throw other things that are working out of whack.
Yes.
But at the same time, you want to try to do things that are going to help you keep getting those extra.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
There's a fine line with anything really, but I've sort of found what works for me this year. Well, I can't say that it'll work for me next year, but like I said, I'm always trying to improve.
Is that also a big draw of going to these big international events to see, all right, what does this competitor do?
Absolutely.
What does this competitor do to get ready? What's their run up like? What's their process like? Because you probably get a whole lot of, plus you can talk to them and say, hey, why do you do this? So that's got to be invaluable, kind of picking their brains.
Yes, yeah. Especially at the Olympic trials, I got to throw with Kara Winger. Oh my gosh.
It's your hero,
that was
right?
a little girl's dream come true.
Yeah.
So to get to throw with her, and I just sort of talked with her on and off the field, picking her brain, what she does, what she doesn't do. But you see, javelin's not one thing where it's one form and one form only.
Yeah.
You see all types of form, all types of approaches. Some girls run longer and only take one cross in the end. Some girls don't run at all. So
Yeah.
it really is just sort of observing everything and figuring out what works for you.
Yeah, that's where good coaching comes in, like Coach
Yes.
Botsman and other
Yes.
coaches you have, to be able to say, okay, this works for Evie, maybe it doesn't work for someone else or won't work for someone else, but for her, this is what works. And you have to feel comfortable doing it too. Do you tweak something and then you know right away, oh, this feels really good. I think this is really going to help me.
Yeah. In practice, coach is always having us run through different approaches, whether that's, you know, closer to the line or farther back from the line, whether it's starting off with a sprint or a jog, or I take 2 walking steps into my approach. You know, each javelin thrower has their own signature. So.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of video? Do you do a lot of video work where you video your? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's huge now, right?
It's
With
huge.
the technology.
Yeah, coach is all the time videoing our throws, and then he'll send them to us, and I'll break them down frame by frame, or I'll send them to my
frame
brother
by frame.
Hudson. He does very good with breaking down frame by frame and
Really?
analyzing the positions.
Really?
I sometimes think he knows a little bit more than I do.
Wow. Well, that's a great resource to have. Your
Yes,
brother
he
helping you
is.
break down your film, and
Yes, he breaks down my film and then compares his throws to it, and he's one of the most technical jab throwers I know. So.
yeah. I did a story on him during the spring talking
Yes.
about the jab, and you know, obviously he has following some big footsteps,
Yes.
but he's plugging away
He
and
is.
trying.
He's doing very well.
Yeah, he's also a very good swimmer too.
Very good swimmer.
District
good
9
pole
champ.
vaulter. He is a District 9 champ.
Yeah,
so
District 9 champ in swimming. So you gotta be pretty proud.
I'm so proud of him. Yes,
Yeah.
he's done so good at taking his own abilities and sort of following in my footsteps, but making his own too.
Yeah, and just from interviewing him, he's very introspective. He's very
Yes.
aware of everything.
He's so just aware of himself and of his sport and other people, and he's quite remarkable. I love him.
Yeah, that's great. And you got a chance to be teammates with him.
Yes, I did.
Swimming on track too, right? Or did he not come out? Okay.
Yeah, he came out with my senior year. We
That's
both
right, he
had
was-
swim and track together.
Yeah.
So.
So what was that experience like, to kind of share a year with your brother, who you obviously close to, grew up with, and kind of helping him along?
It was really special. Getting to share sort of my big moments with him meant a lot. And also I just sort of got to help him as he figured it out, because, you know, he was a freshman my senior year, so he was beginning and I was ending. But I look back at a lot of the memories we made, and as independent swimmers, we often swim races together when there wasn't an open lane. And, you know, he may or may not have beat me at 100 back one time. But yeah, I look back at a lot of those memories and I'm very grateful for them.
Yeah, and he's still helping you to this day.
And he's still helping me now.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll send practice videos to him and be like, "What do you think? I felt awful, but it doesn't look bad." And
yeah.
So.
Yeah, so something can work and look good, but if it feels awful, do you kind of like, hey, I know it worked, I know it looks good, but I just don't feel comfortable? Does that happen a lot too when you're kind of changing things?
It has happened some, yeah. Especially just with my transition. That was a main problem going into this year, was it wasn't very smooth. So over and over again, I was like, I know it looks good, but it doesn't feel good yet, or it isn't comfortable yet. But you know, I had to trust the process, and you know, Google's free, so I Googled a lot of drills to help it, and I'd even send them to coach and Hudson, be like, "Do you think this drill is beneficial for anything?" Or so it was a little challenging, but you know, in the end, I was able to be very comfortable with it and figure it out.
Yeah, it's important. You have to be comfortable, right, when you're competing, and everything. And you were talking about some of the people you've met. You met some great people from different countries, from internationally. That's got to be a thrill too. Like you mentioned, one of your heroes. You got to meet her and talk to her. It's got to be a highlight of this journey too for you.
It is, yeah. It definitely was. It was getting to compete at the Olympic trials with Kara Winger and Maggie Millard-Harden and Madison Wiltrot, who's also a PA girl, was really special. And it was sort of just a testament to how far they've come. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've watched Kara Winger's throws and analyzed them and compared myself to her. So
Yeah.
it was really special.
Is it going to be weird one day when maybe someone is sitting on a set similar to this one talking about, yeah, I got to meet Evie Bliss, my hero?
You know, I hope that's said someday, but that would be very cool. I'd be very grateful.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll do a little wrap up. This is the Main Street Sports Show, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet, Mike Kilroy, Evie Bliss. And we'll be back.
The Cooper Discoverer Road Plus Trail AT, our most trusted truck tire, is now better than ever and available for your truck or SUV. They're designed for the reliability and durability to find adventure beyond the pavement and are backed by a Cooper mileage warranty of up to 65,000 miles. Learn more about the reliable Discoverer Road Plus Trail AT at exploreClarion.com. Count on Cooper. Or stop by Carly Tires in Clarion. Carly Tires, the area's largest selection of tires.
You can afford a gorgeous, custom-designed hardwood Kales kitchen for a lot less than you'd pay at a DIY store. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. At Kales, there are never middleman markups or hidden charges that can add 40%. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. That's FactoryDirectKitchens.net.
Need reliable plumbing or heating services? Call Luton's Plumbing and Heating. Fast, friendly, and available 24/7. Call them at 814-226-8695. This game is brought to you by Tionesta Builders? No, Tionesta Builder Supply. Family-owned and operated home improvement centers located in Tionesta and Shippenville.
Dubrook is your trusted ready-mix concrete supplier. From commercial to residential, Dubrook has you covered. Call 1-844-DUBROOK or visit dubrooking.com. Dubrook is proud to support our local communities. Dubrook, your solid choice in all things concrete.
Affordable opportunities are endless at Northern Pennsylvania Regional College. If you're looking to start next semester or next year, apply now at discovernprc.org. discovernprc.org.
And welcome back to the Main Street Sports Show, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet, as well as Dubrook. This is Evie Bliss. I'm Mike Kilroy. We're going to wrap things up here. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you for
I know
having
you have a huge, busy schedule, and it just so happened you were home here for a little bit before you went off on your jet-setting way, so we really appreciate you
good
for joining us. And we were talking again during the break about how far I could throw a javelin. Maybe in my younger days I could throw it a lot farther because I played a lot of baseball, but typically, what, about 50 feet,
50 to
75 feet?
75 feet, I think, yeah.
Yeah. Well, how far did you throw it the first time you picked one up?
Oh, boy. My first meet, I think I threw it 97 feet,
97?
maybe. Yeah, I know my sophomore year I didn't hardly hit 100 feet, so I'm probably being very generous by saying I threw it 97 feet.
Well, you're a prime example of don't judge how good you are when you first start, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because, maybe you're middling, maybe you're not doing as well, but then things can kind of take off, like they did for you. So, that's got to be something.
Oh, absolutely. if you love something, you should fall in love with the process of it, not just your results. So
Yeah.
with Javelin, it became a labor of love for me. It sort of started off as this like itch I couldn't scratch because I wasn't good at it, but I wanted to be because I was a good pitcher, and I felt like if I pitched well, I should be able to throw well. So, but yeah, I mean, don't ever count yourself out from something you're just learning. I mean, I now am still just learning. So.
Yeah. Yeah, you're barely not a teenager anymore.
Yeah, barely not a teenager
Yeah,
anymore.
so I think people, I mean, of everything you've accomplished already, you're still pretty young on the grand scheme of things on the javelin stage, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm still very young. I'm young for my year in school and just in javelin. A lot of the girls that I competed with at nationals were seniors, so.
Yeah, I know you were by far the youngest at the Olympic trials.
I was, yeah.
I mean, there's people twice your age.
Yes, yeah.
Throwing there.
Kara competed in her first Olympic trials the year before I was born. So.
You didn't tell her that, did you?
I didn't, no. She found that out afterwards. But
And she was probably like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, she was, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's our show for the night. Thanks, Evie, for joining us. It was great talking with you and catching up with you again. I've been talking to you a lot on the phone from all over the place, and talked to you in person for a while, so thanks again for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
This was the Main Street Sports Show, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet and Dubrook. Thanks for joining us.